outside, visited Cheeseman Park on Sunday. It's about to be park season, filling
Dude.
up nicely.
Hell yeah. And that's kind of where the weather was down south this weekend, but you're exactly right. We're getting into that prime vibe. And the rooftop over at Edgewater is a sick little party scene too. And then obviously Sloan's and every other park. I mean, we're so close to warm weather, but not too warm of weather. I'm real fired up.
Yeah, and actually, on top of one of my Final Four votes today, I'm going to Brasserie on Friday night.
Get the fuck out this weekend.
Yep,
You lucky duck. I'm going to an STK happy hour on Friday, Chris.
STK, eh?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't. It's not my choice. I for those that are listening, my girlfriend is a lot cooler than I am, so she gets invited to do a lot of stuff, and so I tag along and make a scene by drinking too much, and that's what that is.
Yeah. Well, also, let's talk about your trip down to New Orleans. Because I mean, you were blowing up the page. It was fucking fantastic. God damn. I was almost wanting you to, like, could you bring a muffalata back for me? Although that would not travel well. All
So,
of
dude, the food is so good, and yes, I could have technically traveled it back with you, but my flight didn't land in Denver till about 12 a.m., and then I got to sleep about 1ish. So this I would have eaten that sandwich today. Chris,
favorite food you had.
there's this place called Maypop that's a Southeast Asian influence with Cajun fusion. And so they have everything from like crawfish etouffee, but a curry broth. They had bone marrow topped with crawfish. And then they have like dumplings with like blue crab and like a crab yolk and egg yolk broth. I posted something about it on social because it was just so good. And we always think of New Orleans foods as po' boys and redfish Jane, barbecue shrimp, jambalaya, gumbo. And while I had all of those things and I eat those things very regularly when I visit home and out here, it just costs me a fortune to make. Um, it reminds you, for those that do know, that New Orleans is, in fact, the alpha of food scenes in America. And it's not like New York isn't fucking awesome. It has exquisite food up there, and you can get anything your heart desires in New York. But what they're doing in New Orleans in the food scene is just night and day, hand over fist, better than everything else. The
You,
creativity, the usages, or the use of local ingredients, whether it be seafood or vegetables. Obviously, not a lot of folks eat vegetables down there unless they're fried, but like all of those ingredients, all of the butter, NOLA remains 1A in my food bracket. Like,
and I also think maybe, I mean, people who live down there and have been New Orleans people forever, they've probably been accustomed to a lot of the Vietnamese and Asian inspired food. But I think like post Katrina, people realize how big the Vietnamese community was down there. And
yeah,
those restaurants are just crazy now.
East NOLA has a large Asian population and some of the best food I've ever eaten. Just like, and it's not like because everyone goes down there and gets a fucking hand grenade and goes for beads and whatnot. You don't necessarily have a car, or you're not sober to drive to these restaurants that are off a beaten path.
Yeah,
So we stayed uptown for that exact reason. Morgan had done downtown before, like Canal Street, Royale, and fucking
right.
Bourbon. So we did things like happy hour at Superior Seafood. We ate at a place called Lou V, where Chef Huang, I think is how you say it, is nominated for Best Chef in the Southeast by James Beard. And it was just fresh ingredients that was like cleverly paired with things you oftentimes wouldn't imagine, like fucking hamachi with feta. But it was because they had this mustard gastric broth or something, mustard seed broth. It was just delightful. So, like, obviously, we'll do a whole recap. You'll see a lot of posts on our social, but the food, it's creative, it's fun. Nobody's taking life too seriously down there, albeit, we're right there in the middle of carnival season and shit. But
Right.
it's just so much fun. I
And the
will tell you,
cocktails are banging.
Chris, Chris, Chris. I'm in detox. I'm doing this episode from Malibu's passage or passages Malibu passages Denver location because I'm detoxing this week. I'm eating vegetarian shit. And by this week I mean until Thursday when the brackets start.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
okay.
I want to say one thing too. Like if you're looking to vacation and get out there and try some food, I would say like screw Charleston, go to New Orleans.
Yeah,
Don't
I mean it's a little bit more like if you're Charleston's a little bit more casual, whereas NOLA is all gas, no brakes. Like Charleston's more golf cart. New Orleans is like trying to drive a car on shitty paved roads without a brakes. Because that's what
hot
it is.
as fuck.
Yeah, you just have to turn hard and just like squeal the tires to brake the car. And that's how you show up at the airport to get out. You like fall out of your car, you're like, get me the fuck out of this town. And that's how I felt last night. I was like, what a mistake. Thursday to Monday. It
That
was,
is a long time.
I was so mad at myself yesterday. I was like, why didn't we just fucking go home on Sunday? But we ate, some dank ass tacos before we left. So New Orleans got something for everybody except for maybe the sober people. But it's just a good time, man. It's a great time. The Ubers were very expensive, and that may be because of Joe Biden. I'm just kidding. Gas prices for those that are listening. The president doesn't dictate the gas prices. It's the rich motherfuckers at BP and Shell that are lining their pockets with $100 bills. And they're doing it because they know that gas is a necessity. So just take that into consideration when you yell, "Let's go, Brandon," in a bathroom stall or something. But Ubers, we probably spent 3/4 of the money on Ubers.
Damn.
I know. It sucks, but it's life. It's better than getting a Dewey. Jail in New Orleans, I would equate that to like going to jail in like Mexico City or Bogota, somewhere you just don't want to be. The stories from my dad growing up, he's like, last place on planet Earth you want to be in jail, my son.
Yeah.
So we flew under the radar and we got out of Dodge. We had a great time. Congrats and shout out to our friends Victor and Katie on their marriage. We had a blast. Thank y'all for the warm reception and company. All right, Chris, before we go, we have a great guest lined up for us this afternoon. For those that stuck with us to hear us goof off and talk, we have Troy Bowen, owner of Noble Riot Wine Bar here in Denver, Colorado. He jumped on the episode to talk about how to make wine less intimidating, how to make it more fun, and how to make the bar environment the same way. And so we're excited. We're regulars, or not regulars, but we frequent Noble Riot. They have a great wine selection, a friendly price point, and a delicious, snacks that are coming out of the kitchen. So you often think wine bar, nobody ever talks about how the food's good too. So that's a great episode, a great guest coming up. Do we have anything that we need to cover before we leave?
I think we covered it all, but yeah, that episode's great, and definitely follow their social media for Saber Saturdays. And they post up deals all the time, like drink them dry on Sunday nights. Like, dude, great deals, great wine. It's
bubbles and fried champagne or fried chicken and champagne. I mean, I just got a wreck thinking about it. It's great. It's great. Yeah, but next week we have huge news. We'll tell everybody the details about it. I'm excited about what's to come, Chris. I think we've got a lot of, the world is our oyster. I think we have a lot to do in the coming months, and from content, but also from fun aspects. Food and wines coming up. We have some cool content. I'm really fired up. So
hell yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, y'all aren't done with us yet. Y'all still have our obnoxious voices coming at you with a guest right on the other side of this ad read. So y'all have a great day, and we'll see y'all next week with big news.
Are coming back. I'm excited about the seasons.
And we're at a very cool spot. We've never recorded here.
Oh, no. And we also have a guest joining us today that I'm really excited about. We kind of teased it a little bit with, excitement of patio drinks and things of that nature. But today we're coming to y'all from Noble Riot. Y'all probably know, y'all see our pictures on social media. It's easily one of our favorite bars in Denver. Not wine bars in Denver. And we're sitting down with the man, the myth, the legend. Y'all may know him from Saber Saturdays, but he also is the proprietor, and he runs the show over here at Noble Riot, Mr. Troy Bowen.
What's up, y'all?
What
I'm
up,
psyched to
dude?
be here. This is awesome. I'm psyched to have you guys here. I'm here all the time.
Right,
I'm
yeah, I
psyched
was
that you
about to
guys
say,
join
yeah.
me this stuff. I feel like this podcast is a space of its own, though, so I'm there.
We're
I love it.
really fired up to have you. Yeah, so we're going to have Troy join us today, not only to talk about navigating the business perils of working inside of RiNo, right near all the fun that's vibing, and as the weather's getting nicer, the people are about to start popping, so we're going to put everybody on notice this week. But before we get into our episode, we need to give a quick shout out to our sponsors. They help us pay for all of our natural wines, Chris, and so we love them for it. First off, it's payday. For those that are listening, I believe it's March 15th as you're listening to this episode, which means it's a Tuesday, and at Seed & Smith, they have deals galore. They've been dumping some of their phenos into their garden. The garden's vibrant, just as most folks will be this spring, but they have killer deals going on. So whether or not you're looking for the dart pen, which we swear by, and the killer deals that they have where you can get 2 carts in a pen, the big G special, as we like to call that, but they also have Epic Flower, and then they have our friends like Coda, Ripple, Taste Buds, all Eureka. They have other players in their dispensaries. And so they have 2 dispensaries, one on Oakland Street out in Commerce City. That's their first shop where you can do the tours and check out the grow. And then they have their newest location. It's called the Flagship Store. I like to call that one the Apple Store. It's the one on Heckler Way in Louisville, just outside of downtown. That place has got everything. Maybe not computers, but they got comfy lounge clothes if you're trying to smoke pot on the couch. It's a vibe. And then obviously you can go to www.seedandsmith.com to see where their products are sold across the metro area. And I swear to God by the dart pen. I mean, we've been doing judging for those marijuana contests, and no matter what, when we're going out on the town, I still go for Old Reliable. I go get that Lemon Soul Live Resin Series, and it just sends me to the moon. It's fantastic. You know what I'm talking about, Chris. Yes, sir. And then our second sponsor, actually just down the road. You can probably see their stickers littered through the alleyway, and that's our friends over at Callie's Cannabis. Shout out to Charles, Ernie, Mama Callie, the whole fam. They have a great operation going over there. We mentioned today's Tuesday. They have different deals every single day of the week, and no matter how much money you spend, you can bank those points for rewards and return them to get free doja later. Charles is back in charge of their grow, which means they're pumping out dank-ass flour. And you'll see that same flour in 2 weeks, Chris, at our dinner series. So the March dinner series. Tickets are possibly still available. I don't know. As we record this, the tickets haven't dropped, but I have a sneaking suspicion those fuckers are gone. Anyways, Callie's has 3 locations across the metro area. For those that are in our northern burbs, you want to try out some of this fire flower that we keep smoking on, go check them out. It's in North Glen. They obviously have the location at 31st and Larimer. So if you're trying to bop, walk and enjoy the nice weather, after you have a glass of wine or before you do, swing through the 31st and Larimer location. Charles is usually there. The team over there is delightful, and they've got everything your heart could desire. And then their third location for those that may be doing taco crawls or burgers, hunting a good burger, they have the location at 7th and Kenosha Court, right there off of Federal and right there off of I-25. No matter which one you go to, they always deliver great products to you, and it's a fucking steal if you go on the day that's made for you. So check out Callie's Cannabis or follow them on social media at Shop Callie's. Whew!
Back to the show.
Let's go! All right. So, Troy, we like to start every episode the same way, where I put my microphone down, I have some of this delicious booze, and Chris takes the reins. So, Chris, please do the honors.
Bye, Kip.
Bye, guys. All right, Troy. Are you a transplant or a native to Colorado?
I was born here. I was born at Rose Medical Center back in the day. I left for a while. I lived in California for a bit, came back, lived in Boulder for a bit, Minneapolis for a bit, and did a stint in New York City. Came back here to open up a wine bar in RiNo from there. It took 7 years, but that's why I came back.
Minneapolis, huh?
Yeah. I love that town, actually.
The Juicy
really
Lucy.
Dug it. I really dug that.
Yeah, is that where All Americans are?
Yes.
Mighty Ducks?
Yeah. That's exactly the Minnesota Miracle Man.
Okay. And they play. Okay, so you are a native, even though you may have bebopped around or your crossline as a native.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Do you have the sticker on your car? Because we have some in our backpack. We would love to give you
I
them.
don't have one yet. No, I don't.
God,
I try to just show it in my walk.
Oh, there
But I'll
you
put
go.
it on my bumper sticker too. That's
How
true.
does a Coloradan walk?
We can't tell you, man.
They don't-
That's the one thing we have.
Classic.
Everybody's just like,
That's like Fight Club. Well done. Only a native would know that answer.
right.
All right, so did you grow